Welcome back to Listen Up, presented by Dempsey's Girl and Sportsland. Phil was unable to join me tonight for this recap, unfortunately. So, without further ado, let's get into this recap. What a game tonight between UConn and UCF. The same starting lineup it was tonight, the same as it was against Mercer with Paige, Kristen, AZ, Olivia, and Aaliyah for UConn. A sellout crowd tonight at Gamble. So great to see everyone come out and support their Huskies. I could feel the energy from my living room. UConn makes it to their 28th consecutive Sweet 16 with the win over UCF. UCF was on a 14-game winning streak, which is their highest ever in school history. They also got their first NCAA tournament win on Saturday against Florida. So a great season for the Knights, and it was only their fourth loss. They won 26 games this season. So really was a great season for them, and they gave UConn a really tough game here tonight. It was a very physical game from the start. UCF, a very physical and tough defensive team, and UConn, they had some bad turnovers early. I'm not sure if it was the nerves or the tough defense or both. It could have been both, but UConn also they had a tough time shooting the ball in the first quarter. Really rough shooting night. Really, below 50%. So something we're really not used to seeing, but give credit for the Knights for that tough defense. They're really a tough defensive team, very physical team. And UConn also had some bad turnovers early. And, they were getting open shots, but they just couldn't knock them down. UCF, they came out with a lot of intensity. It gave UConn a really tough game. Former American Athletic Conference foes and a very experienced UCF team. They're also used to this atmosphere in Gamble playing against UConn in their time there in the AAC conference. So in that first quarter, you could really tell UCF's defense was affecting UConn, and it seemed like UConn was rushing. They were feeling the pressure from UCF. The Knights had a 6-point lead at the end of that first quarter. And then in the second quarter, UConn used their full court press against UCF, and it worked out fairly well. They got some turnovers, and it slowed down UCF's offense a little bit. The Huskies also got more aggressive. They drove the ball to the rim. They got some fouls. If you're a UConn fan, you agreed with those calls. If you're a UCF fan, you probably didn't agree with some of those foul calls. In my opinion, it was a questionable game from the referees. Obviously, I wouldn't want to be a referee. Very, very tough job. But I think on both sides for both teams, there was definitely some questionable calls throughout the whole game, let's say. But either way, it got the Knights in foul trouble early in the game. And the UConn Huskies were more aggressive on defense as well. They didn't let UCF get any more easy shots or open looks, let's say. Outscored them 14-5 in that second quarter. And the Huskies had a 3-point lead going into halftime. The third quarter was back and forth. UConn continued to play good physical defense. They went on a 9-0 run. And to end the quarter, they went up by 8 points. And this is where it got really, really fun. In the fourth quarter, UConn had a 12-point lead. Maybe some people thinking it was over, but 12-point lead, about 5 minutes left. UCF called a timeout, very good timeout. And they put their full court press on, made some shots, got some stops, and cut the lead to just 5 with a minute 40 left. And throughout that run as well, Olivia and Aaliyah fouled out. So Dorka had to come in and actually finish the game for those two. The lead was cut to 3 with 53 seconds left. UConn got the ball, and Paige, she got a good look, but missed the 3-point attempt. Dorka got the rebound, and her shot got blocked. So UCF had a chance to tie it with 34 seconds left. UCF ends up getting fouled, and they miss both free throws. And UConn is able to survive and hold on for a 52-47 victory. So it was really an incredible game. What a game to watch. It was definitely a treat for all fans, for all college basketball fans in general tonight. It was really something special. Just looking at the box score really, really quick. AZ Fudd led the Huskies with 16 points. Kristen Williams had 12. Paige Beckers with 9. Like I mentioned, Paige started again. She played pretty good. Missed a couple shots, but UConn in that first quarter had a lot of players missing some easy looks, and I'll get into that a little bit. UCF Diamond Battles led with 12 points, and Tay Sanders had 10. But again, a really good game from UCF. They really did give it their all. And past this game, also want to talk about the second round of this tournament. Not only this game, there's been a lot of great games. Let me start with number 10 South Dakota advancing to their first ever women's Sweet 16 with an upset win over number 2 Baylor, who many people thought could have been a number 1 seed in this tournament. But that wasn't the only upset. Number 10 Creighton took down a number 2 seed in Iowa in a 2-point victory. So unbelievable. Me and Phil, we're trying to tell you guys all week long that upsets could happen, and they probably would. And they sure did on Sunday. Iowa was arguably one of the hottest teams coming into this tournament. Caitlin Clark absolutely lighting everybody up. She played amazing this season, and for Iowa, she still has 2 more years, 1 or 2 more years for Iowa. So can't wait to continue to see her develop and grow and watch her play the next couple of years. But in a way, I'm kind of glad Creighton won, because you had people saying that the Big East Conference is weak, and now you have Creighton that made it to their first ever Sweet 16, and Villanova, they also upsetted a 6 seed in BYU in the first round, but unable to take down Michigan tonight. Those were just 2 games on Sunday. Tonight, Monday night, we had a 5 seed Notre Dame routing 4 seed Oklahoma 108-64. Yes, they scored 108 points. That's the most points scored in this tournament so far. Unreal game from Notre Dame. Now let me go to a really, really high scoring game to a very low scoring game. South Carolina, this was on Sunday, beat Miami 49-33. Now I was unable to watch this game because I went down to the Maryland game. Congrats to them, by the way, for making it to the Sweet 16. But in the third quarter of this South Carolina Miami game, it was 31-15. Miami only had 15 points to start the fourth quarter. So Miami, 3 single-digit scoring quarters. I couldn't believe when I saw how low scoring this game was, especially with South Carolina only scoring 49 points, and they are the number 1 overall seed in this tournament, and they're the team that's been on top of the AP poll all season long. So it's so much unreal news. So many upsets this season, not only for the women, but in the men's tournament as well. If you guys follow that, it's been really fun following this women's tournament for March Madness. But now let's get into some comments. My favorite part of the show. Love going over these comments. So let's start off with Gribble. He said people crapping on the Big East, getting surprised by Gino's comments of the conference being underrated are coming true. Creighton knocked off number 2 seeded Iowa with 14K, sold out arena on Iowa campus. Wasn't a lucky win. They led 95% of the game and were usually up between 6-12 till the late run by Iowa. I totally agree. People always say that the Big East is weak, and I really couldn't have said it any better myself. Hopefully now people realize how tough the Big East actually is, especially this season, because Villanova beat UConn earlier in the season. And I really didn't expect Creighton to go this far. I kind of just expected them to win in the first round. But what an upset, a truly incredible upset. So the Big East, I'm trying to tell you people, it's not as weak as you guys think. Moving on to the next one, Rich Hahn commented, Caroline is not being used to her potential. She is deceptively quick and can drive the lane and either lay it in or stop and pop. For some reason, that doesn't seem to be part of UConn's game plan. She had 3 steals, 10 points, and 6 rebounds in 18 minutes. I would agree with that, but however, we have to remember she is a freshman who plays on the same team as two amazing senior players in Kristen Williams and Avina Westbrook. And also with a fully healthy team now, Paige is starting. She's playing about 20 minutes. So I think next year with Williams and Westbrook leaving, Caroline will probably get more minutes. And the last comment I'll go over here before I log off for the night is from Edgar Pierre. They said, I think AZ is being criminally underutilized. Also, even though defense was great, it was really frustrating how many layups and putbacks UConn missed. Hopefully, they play better offensively Monday. So we have one person saying Caroline is not being used enough, and then we have another person saying AZ is not played enough. My answer to that is the same as to Caroline. AZ is also a freshman. Both her and Caroline stepped up when Paige was out with that injury, and they did an amazing job. But now, again, with a fully healthy team, we are starting to see these minutes go down a little bit for Caroline and AZ. So, and the second part of that comment about UConn missing easy shots, they did it again tonight, and I think that's one of the only things this and the turnovers that I could complain about this UConn team. I'm not sure. Sometimes, I think it might surprise them. They make it look so easy on offense. Sometimes they get so wide open, and then they just miss the easy shots. But playing these tougher teams coming up, potential date with South Carolina and also Stanford, I believe. But yeah, I think that definitely going forward in this tournament for UConn, when they get open like that and they get these easy looks, they're gonna have to start knocking these shots down, because UCF played an incredible defensive game, and I'm sure these upcoming opponents for UConn are going to watch this game tonight and study what UCF did, full court pressing and playing UConn very physical. That I think that should definitely be the game plan for UConn's opponents. But for UConn, I totally agree. They have to play better offensively and knock down those easy shots. But I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Again, thank you guys for all the supports. Keep on liking, commenting, subscribing. Me and Phil cannot thank you guys enough. Hopefully, Phil will be able to join me on Saturday for UConn's next game, which is against number 3 seeded Indiana in Bridgeport. Until then, this is Ryan signing off.